Hey folks, welcome back to this Winter Wonder World, and this is going to be another 31k Rome Total War online commentary. Now today we've got 3 versus 3, it's been snowing on the grassy flatlands, and we've got myself playing as the Scippi, playing alongside a Senate and the Julii, and we're going to be taking on 3 Pike factions. We're taking on Pontus, we're taking on the Greeks, and we're taking on the Seleucids. So it's a good old classic Pikes versus Gladius battle. Now, what I'll quickly do, I'll outline my build. I've gone for 2 archers, 6 Praetorian cav, and the rest urbans. Now, you may not be able to see this, but I've split my army up into 2 segments. I've got my front row, which consists of 2 loose formation troops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 urbans at the back with my general, and that's going to boost the morale for this army here. And I've also got 4 units in tight formation on this wing. The reason being, I knew I was going to go up against the Seleucid player here, so what I wanted to do is to get these infantry units around the flank in conjunction with my Praetorian cav and with the archers to try and attack his Seleucid cataphracts, which of course I'm pretty sure he'd bring those. Now my ally here is Banzoi Joe. I think it's supposed to be Banjo Joe. He has gone for your standard build, I believe. I don't think he's got any archers, I may be mistaken. I think it is just literally a 14-6 build, and he's going up against the Greeks, which would be a tough matchup. And then we've also got this player here who's called Loobaghikmalock something. I'm just going to call him the Julii. He's gone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archers, 4 Praetorian cav, and the rest urbans. And that's the reason being for that is because he's going up against SR, and SR has brought Pontus. Now we always know that SR, when he comes, he likes to bring archers and likes to bring lots and lots of archers. He always brings interesting builds, and it's always interesting to play with or against SR. He's brought 4 Pontic archers. These guys are probably the worst archers that you can get in the game, so it'll be quite interesting to see how he uses them. And he's gone for 1, 2, 3 scythe chariots, which will really be able to scare the opposition. He'll use those for any mass routes, ideally. He needs to be careful because they will run amok if they get shot by the archers on flame mode, and that's the reason why the Julii have brought so many. He's brought 1 Cappadocian cav, which is like a poor man's version of a cataphract. He's using these guys to support these 2 chariot archers, which here used in textbook style to harass the enemy. And then the rest he's got is a bunch of bronze shield spearmen. These guys are okay, they're good, but they're not as good as Macedonian royal pikemen, nor are they as good as these Spartan hoplites, which is what Bubo has brought. Now he has brought a bunch of Spartans, 1 archer and a general, so his infantry are going to be really strong, and he should be able to munch through all of these urbans in front of him. And then last but not least, we've got Mr. A, who holds his own YouTube channel, which again I'll try and put a little link to in the description. He's bought this Seleucids. He's relatively new to 31k, not always easy using the Seleucids, and you'll see when you use the Seleucids, often you need to have a lot of support from your allies, because the infantry, if they get isolated, they will drop like flies. So let's kickstart the battle. Let's see what the opening gambits are. I'm going to initially send all of my infantry, all of my army forward, as again I want to try and get the bulk of my army to engage upon these units here, and also get this little wing of infantry units around the flank. Bubo is going to send his guys forward, and he's going to try and aggressively push straight into the Senate here, the purple Romans. He knows in a prolonged fight he should be able to absolutely swarm and take out all of these guys. Over here, my Julii ally here, he's going to run his guys over here to go and support this Senate player, but he needs to be careful upon all of these Pontic units, because these units will come around the back and they will shoot him right in the back if he's not watching. So let's zoom in over here. Let's go and have a look to see what's going on with this battle. First things first, I'm going to engage my infantry. As you can see, I'm also sending these guys around the flank, and that's because I knew that these cataphracts will come to one of the flanks. Now luckily he came to this flank, so when I send in my infantry units to go and attack these cataphracts, I know my infantry units won't be able to beat these cataphracts, what my infantry units will be able to do is prevent the cataphracts from doing a charge. If I can snag them up, I can hold them in place. Also, I'm going to use my archers here and flame attack just to drop the morale for these cataphracts. So you can see my guys are coming in here. He's going to try and charge in. Now I'm going to put in all of my Praetorian cav. I'm going to try and do a counter charge upon all of these cataphracts. I'm also raining fire with all these arrows, and that's going to drop the morale for these cataphracts. Hopefully we can cause a bit of a rout here. He's going to pull back his cataphracts. He knows he can't win this battle now. My guys are now going to plough straight into these units. We've routed a couple of cataphract units. So these units of course will come back, but once they're routed they won't be as effective as they once were. Over here, all of these pike units are now being isolated. I'm now going to just isolate and surround these units. As you can see, I've got urbans attacking to the front, I've got urbans attacking to the flank, I've got urbans coming into this flank, I've got archers shooting into the flanks, and I've got urbans around the back. So all of these units have been well and truly isolated and been destroyed. Talking about being destroyed, let's have a look at the Senate. Now Babu is coming with his pikes. He's got his pikes down and he's going to be swarming through all of these urbans. These urbans, there's very little they can do. They're going to hold their ground, maybe kill a few of these Spartans, but these Spartans should be able to win this. In comes SR. Now SR is going to try and support the his ally here. He's going to push through here, maybe take out these urbans and also come around this flank here. So the Senate, really, they've been absolutely wiped out. They've got a couple of infantry units left. They should really pull these guys back, maybe put their guys into Testudo and give me time to finish off the Seleucids. As you can see here, the Seleucids are well and truly been absolutely obliterated. A few of their units will come back, but it's only the pike units and a couple of archer units. I'm not too worried about that. As long as the cataphracts have been dealt a nice blow, I can now send in all of my infantry units in here to go and assist my ally. Over here you can see SR's coming in to assist. He's throwing in his pike units. He's going to drop down his pikes and drop down the morale for all of the opposition here. As you can see, he's going to run in, drop down, press backspace, and all of those Senate units will start to rout. The rest of the Senate units are now running away. He knows he won't be able to hold his ground against all of these pike units. In the meantime, the Julii ally here is just mopping up some of SR's archers, mopping up some of his units here. The companion, the Cappadocian cav has routed, but they will come back. He's now going to throw in all of his infantry back over here to assist. So we're trying to out-skirmish, we're trying to outmaneuver some of these pike units. Ideally, if we can try and isolate and separate these Spartans, we may have a good chance of winning this. If the Spartans just come and engage all of my infantry units, I will lose this because he's got well and truly more Spartans, and his Spartans are warmed up, they're fresh. My guys are tired, they're winded, they're tired, and they're more. Again, all of these guys are tired. So we're going to pull back my infantry units. I don't want to engage upon all of these Spartans because these Spartans will be able to beat me. I want to wait for the Julii to come in to help out. The Julii again are tired, and that's because they've been chasing down all of these Pontic units. The Pontic Cappadocian cav are back, as are these archers here. But these archers should be able to be absolutely wiped up from the Praetorian cav. In they come here, going to cause those units to rout. I'm pulling back my infantry units. I don't really want to engage upon these guys. I thought the Julii player would just stand there and wait for me, but it looks like he's going to engage. And my guys, as you can see, I've pulled them back over here. Now what I need to do is turn them around now and send them back into this engagement, because Babu's now going to send in all of his pike units, and he should be able to take out all of these Julii units. So I need to pull my finger out my arse and run them back over here to try and support my ally here, because Babu is now engaged in all of his pikes and he's going to do a lot of damage here. Now SR is going to come around this flank here to prevent the Greeks from being outflanked. He's got his pike units over here and his pike units to the back. Oops, losing control of my mouse. My infantry unit's now running in here. I'm going to try and come in from this flank here. Once I get them to range a peeler, I throw my peeler and try and do a lot of damage. The Julii unit's now put his guys into Testudo mode even, and that's really to try and slow down the advance of all of these pikes, slow down the advance of some of these Spartans, and also potentially get these Spartans out of position, meaning that I can actually come in here with my infantry units to do a lot of damage. I'm now going to throw in my infantry units. I'm going to get my peeler. As you can see here, going to do a lot of damage. Going to throw my peeler into the sides of these Spartans and try and finish these guys down, or at least dwindle their numbers down. SR is now sent in his pike units around this flank, and that's to prevent my guys from coming in. So I'm now going to send in the rest of my infantry units around the back here and try and get around the flank of these infantry units. Now in comes a nice little charge here from Bazzoka. My infantry unit's now going to come in here, and hopefully we can cause a bit of a rout on this flank and maybe try and wrap up this flank. So you can see my infantry unit's now coming around the back here. Over here, SR is doing a nice little job against these pike units, so against these Testudo units, but he's not going to be able to punch a hole through these Testudo. What he needs to do is peel off maybe potentially some of his units here, or maybe try and box up these units over here, because what we're doing really nicely, we're trying to isolate and surround all of these pike units. The Seleucia player really needs to pull his guys in and try and support his allies here. Maybe he can send in all of his pike units here to try and attack my infantry units, because now they've gotten snagged upon all of these Spartans. SR maybe move this pike unit over here and really just trying to make a nice little formation, nice little box formation. In the meantime, you can now see the Seleucians are now thrown in their pike units to try and assist my guys. So my guys are now being isolated and surrounded, but I do have my two archer units here, and I'm just shooting the backs of these pike units. These pike units, they've already routed once, they're going to rout a second time now, once these Praetorian cav of Bazzoka comes in here. And here we go, everyone's isolating everyone, everyone's surrounding everyone. We're now going to send in some more infantry units here, and what we're trying to do is make sure that these pike units, these Pontic units, get isolated. Pontus now starting to rout on this flank here. My infantry units are now coming in on this flank here, and all of these Spartans are now being isolated. Because they're now being isolated, they're now going to start to rout, and that is pretty much now GG. Because the Urbans have been able to outmaneuver all of these pike units, it's been a bit of a nightmare for the Seleucids and the Greeks, and Pontus unfortunately never got going because the Seleucids got taken out pretty convincingly on my flank here. Babu did a great job against the Urbans, against the SPQR, and unfortunately the archers really weren't strong enough for SR to really do his textbook maneuvers that you normally see him do when he uses his archers. So if you have a look at the kill count, I've gotten 2,000 kills. My allies gotten about 1,100 kills each. Let's have a look at the enemy. SR only gotten about 889 kills, but he was using Pontus. Pontus, they're great when you're being supported or if you're getting a really nice mass rout. Unfortunately, his Seleucids chariots run amok, and unfortunately he wasn't able to capitalise upon them. Babu did really well, got 1,400 kills, but unfortunately Mr. A got taken out by myself, and that's where I got the majority of my kills from, really managing to mop up the Seleucid player early on in the battle. So average victory, really interesting match, really enjoyed that, especially great playing against SR and Babu. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Again, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a little comment, and guys, we'll check you out for the next installment of Biscuits Total War for more Rome Total War goodness on Biscuits Total War. Thanks for watching, catch you guys soon, and thanks for your time. Bye now.